Alright, Sean Strickland absolutely embarrassed the matchmakers of the UFC by even making this matchup. This really looked like, a guy that hadn't even fought before against a pro. Like, this looked like Sean Strickland's sparring footage, Abus Magomedov did have a lot of success in the beginning, which I'm going to talk about later, but once it got to the second round, Sean Strickland absolutely dominated. Did Abus quit? Was Sean Strickland just better? Should he fight Israel Adesanya next? I'm going to mention all of that and more. What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And let me know in the comment section below, what did you guys think about the fight? Were you guys surprised that Sean Strickland got a finish? After the day of the fight, I literally said this.
Just this fake.
I don't mean to be this guy, but who has Sean Strickland done this to? Like, nah, I really hate saying it, but who is the last guy this man has finished even hurt on the feet? Like, who? He didn't hurt Cannonier, definitely didn't hurt Alex Pereira, didn't hurt Nasruddin Imavov, didn't hurt Jacker Manson. I don't think he hurt Uriah Hall. Like, who has this guy hurt? I don't mean to be a hater here, but it's just, I'm spitting facts. Sean Strickland saw my video and was like, nope, I gotta prove the haters wrong. And I also do want to talk about the video in a little bit, but like I said, thank you guys for watching. We're trying to hit 20K by the end of the year, so if you guys just hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, it'll help with the algorithm and help share the channel. If you guys think like me that Sean Strickland should fight Israel Adesanya next, use the like button as an agreement button. Try to show the UFC that you guys agree, or comment in the comment section below why you guys don't think so. Anyway, guys, enough boring you guys, let's just get into this video. Alright, Sean Strickland versus Abus Magomedov took place last night, and the first round kind of went as I expected. I did say in my breakdown, I said, hey, Abus Magomedov's gonna come out kicking a lot and be very aggressive, and we saw that Sean Strickland was really puzzled, and Abus Magomedov really did a good job in the beginning, switching up his attacks, kicking, front kicks, using the hands, mixing it up with the grappling. You could tell that Sean Strickland was very confused the whole time, trying to figure out what shot Abus Magomedov was gonna throw next. So obviously Sean Strickland looked very confused, and I was worried. I was like, man, am I wrong? Like, will Sean Strickland absolutely get dominated? But we got to the second round, and Abus Magomedov's cardio just drained like crazy. Like, this is an embarrassing drain. It was one round, and to be honest, Abus Magomedov didn't really have so much output as you would expect. You never know, maybe the weight cut kind of drained him. You never know, but the cardio just kind of zapped from him, and from there, really, he had nothing for Sean Strickland. Clearly didn't want to be there anymore. The fight could have been stopped a lot earlier, in my opinion, especially on the ground. Like, the referee let that ground and pound go on a little longer than I thought he would. But Sean Strickland gets his first finish in a long time. I think the last guy he finished was Brendan Allen, but Sean Strickland once again taking on an unknown guy and defeating them and pretty much dominating them. Like, yes, Abus Magomedov did have success, and maybe in a world where Abus Magomedov had better cardio, maybe he gets the job done against Sean Strickland. But even in the first round, you saw that Sean was able to avoid a lot of punches, and once again, his timing is incredible. We've talked about this up until the fight, but his timing is really good because he spars all the time. So that's what makes Sean Strickland so good, and we saw it here, perfectly timed. And I think that this is the perfect kind of performance that warrants a title shot. Does he deserve it? No. I am not saying Sean Strickland deserves the title shot at all. However, when you look at the division, we got Dricus du Plessis versus Robert Whittaker happening next week, and who's to say who wins that fight and how that fight goes down. And if Dricus du Plessis knocks out Robert Whittaker or even wins that fight, then I think we got to give it to Dricus, assuming he'll be ready by that September date. However, if Robert Whittaker wins, or even Dricus du Plessis wins but is injured, I think they should probably go with Sean Strickland. It didn't really seem like he took any damage of this fight, and I'd even rather than pick Sean Strickland over Dricus du Plessis, because the Sean Strickland Israel Adesanya buildup would be insane. I think it would sell a lot of pay-per-views, and I think Sean Strickland would become a lot bigger of a star, because I've been noticing a lot of people talking about Sean Strickland. Like, I think this guy has the potential to be very well known amongst non-MMA fans. Obviously, he isn't exactly like the flashiest superstar, and obviously his fighting isn't anything to rave about. Like, he doesn't go through these wars like a Justin Gaethje will, or dominate his opponents like Hamza. It's a different type of domination. It's a sort of Israel Adesanya type of domination where he kind of just technically picks at you across 5 rounds. And honestly, I'd be pretty interested in an Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland matchup. Who would I be picking? I would probably pick Israel Adesanya. We've seen his resume so far. We've seen the people he's beaten. Obviously, he beat Robert Whittaker, finished Paulo Costa, defeated Jared Cannonier in dominant style. And I think this fight 9 times out of 10 probably favors Adesanya, and maybe the 10th time there's like a fluke accident. But for the most part, assuming that there's no accidents or anything, I kind of favor Israel Adesanya. It is a little bit interesting because, like I said, Sean Strickland's best asset is the amount of time that he spends sparring, and Israel Adesanya is a guy with a lot of fights, and that's also his specialty. He has really good reflexes, so it could be a little interesting to see their dynamic. But this is a fight I think perfectly plays in Israel Adesanya. He's a counter striker at the end of the day, very long and rangy. I think he's gonna absolutely leg kick the hell out of Sean Strickland. I think we're gonna see Sean Strickland go forward, Israel Adesanya go for counters. I think this fight will probably be like a 5-round domination from Israel Adesanya. I don't think it'll be anything so crazy. Will he be able to knock out Sean Strickland? I don't know. We saw him knock out Alex Pereira. Israel Adesanya does have power. We did see him finish a guy like Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa. Both guys were not able to get finished by Yoel Romero, and we know Yoel hits hard. So we know that Israel Adesanya has power as well as precision. He's a very good, like I said, with his reflexes, with his counter. He's a very good, underrated inside fighter as well as an outside fighter. Israel Adesanya is very hard to deal with, and I think the best way to beat Adesanya is to probably outpoint him, and it's rare to find someone that can do that. Obviously, Alex Pereira is a kind of fighter who could stay on the outside and pick his shots, push Israel Adesanya back, and actually match him in the kickboxing department. But Sean Strickland's just too basic for Israel Adesanya. He's just a typical boxer. I think Israel Adesanya is going to have fun with this guy. I think he's going to beat him. As much as I want to see Sean Strickland be champion too, because it would just be too funny, I don't think the likelihood of that is happening with at least Israel Adesanya being the champion. But none of this might not matter because we could see Sean Strickland fight another guy, maybe the loser of Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. Like, I don't get why they didn't just do Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. Like, that fight would have made all the sense in the world. Win-win, no matter what the person fights Izzy next. A fresh matchup. That would have made the most sense. I don't know why they went this Robert Whittaker route or this Abus Magomedov route, which is even more puzzling. They probably should have just redone Whittaker versus Costa and then made Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. But I also don't know what's going on with Paulo Costa. Obviously, I don't know if he's fighting next pay-per-view. But I just think the build-up alone would be a really big pay-per-view, especially if it's headlined by Israel Adesanya. I think we'll see some bad blood back and forth. Israel Adesanya does go back and forth with his opponents as well, so it isn't going to be a guy just saying, wait till Saturday night and some boring line after that. They'll be going back and forth at the press conference. We've already seen Sean Strickland poke fun at the whole China thing. If you guys don't know, there's a video of Israel Adesanya basically claiming to be Chinese.
Well, take a look at me. What are you thinking? I'm a black man? I come from Africa? Come on, please, look at my line. Haven't you seen it yet? Wait a second. Yes, I am a Chinese.
Basically kind of claiming it as kind of a home country. I didn't see the video, so I'm gonna put it in this video so you guys know what I'm talking about, but I don't even know the video right now that I'm talking about. So that's just what I know about the video. And Sean Strickland's already poking fun of Israel Adesanya. He knows what he's doing. He called for the title shot afterwards, and he's right. He has done a lot of things for the UFC. You know, he fought Abus Magomedov, fought Nasruddin Imavov on a week's notice. I think the guy deserves a title shot. And look, next week is Robert Whittaker versus Dricus du Plessis. It's now less than a week away. Does a week's difference really matter? I don't know. I think Sean Strickland should be the backup. If they're going this route of the winner of this fight is going to fight Israel Adesanya next, they should probably keep Sean Strickland as a background. Definitely didn't take too much damage. Tell him, hey, you know what, try to weigh in that day. Then we could potentially see Adesanya versus Strickland if someone pulls out. For all we know, both guys could go through a war. No one could fight. Dricus du Plessis could knock out Robert Whittaker in the first round. You never know. This is MMA. Random shit happens all the time that shouldn't happen, and it might happen again. It might happen some crazy things that we might see Sean Strickland step in, so be prepared for that to be a potential reality. But all in all, man, I was super excited to see Sean Strickland get his finish. I think this is a good performance to end off on to get a title shot. However, if he's not going to get the title shot, I would like to see him fight an upper guy. Maybe he fights a guy like Paulo Costa. I think his performance was so good that actually makes that matchup look pretty interesting. I don't know who I would pick. I would probably lean toward Sean Strickland. If Paulo Costa isn't fighting on the next pay-per-view, which he said recently that he's not training for the fight, but if he's not, then why don't they have him and Sean Strickland fight at the UFC 293 card on the undercard as a featured bout? And so in the event that Adesanya or maybe the winner of Dricus du Plessis and Robert Whittaker pull out, one of those two could fill in that role. Most likely Sean Strickland if it's Adesanya, probably Paulo Costa if it's Whittaker or du Plessis. That's just my guess, but that's the only thing I can give you, my guess. And that's what I think that they should do with the UFC. I would love to see a Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya press conference alone. I don't really care so much about the fight, but I don't mind the matchup, especially when you look at the state of where the middleweight division is. There isn't really a clear contender. Unless DDP absolutely knocks out Robert Whittaker or does some crazy performance against him, then he's the #1 contender, but we'll see. I think most people are under the assumption that Dricus du Plessis can't beat Robert Whittaker. I agree. I'm going to be picking Robert Whittaker, but like I said, there's always a chance that it doesn't happen. But guys, let me know what you guys think about a potential Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis matchup. And before the video ends, I want to talk about my last video where I made a video reacting to a Sean Strickland interview, kind of cringing at it, making fun of it a little bit. I just want to reiterate, some of you guys said I was being like a snowflake. Guys, I don't really care what Sean Strickland says. I'm not offended. I said it in the video. I'm not offended. I'm not here trying to, stand up for whatever, because obviously at the end of the day, I mentioned this in my video but took it out. But I mentioned how she's obviously feeding him questions, expecting a bad response back, kind of baiting him into getting a good interview. And so it's not like I'm trying to stand up for this woman or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I even make fun of her in the video as well. But the interview was cringe. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not saying that I don't find him funny, because some of the stuff he does say is funny, but some of it is a little bit cringe, because it's like, how are you gonna say that in front of, like, come on, that whole interview was cringe. He was literally making jokes about the girl fucking John Jon Jones in front of her boyfriend. Like, come on, dude. Like, that is cringe, unobjectively, hard to watch, but that's why you love Sean Strickland, and that's just who he is at the end of the day. And I was rooting for Sean Strickland last night. I'm a fan of Sean Strickland, so that's how I'm going to end this video. I'm a fan of Sean Strickland, and I'm hoping he gets that title shot. That is who I want to get the next title shot, absolutely. That build-up would be fun, and I'm going to be rooting for him against Adesanya because I just think him as a champion is even funnier than him even fighting for it. But guys, let me know what you guys think of today's video. Guys, tune into my last video where I did react to that Sean Strickland interview with Nina drama. Tune in for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This week begins UFC 290 fight week, so I'm going to be putting out so many predictions for the fights coming up. Guys, thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA, and I'll see you guys in the next one.